And lastly, there will be supplemental procedural rules for the enforcement of the GDPR to improve how DPAs work together. Andrea, can you talk more about what types of changes are expected?
Thank you so much for the question, Joanne. Indeed, we are living in exciting times with changes on the horizon for the digital field, with a strong focus on privacy and data protection, at least here in the European Union. Now, in July 2023, the Commission proposed further specifying procedural rules for the enforcement of the GDPR in the form of a proposal for a regulation. The Commission proposed, among others, streamlining the filing and handling of complaints, provided further rules on the right to be heard before the authorities, and granting the parties a right of access to documents and safeguarding confidentiality where appropriate.
And how do these changes come about? With the AI Act, we heard a lot about the trilog process. Will the changes to GDPR undergo this process? And how does the trilog process work?
Well, these are a lot of questions, but they're very interesting and very current. To give you a bit of context to explain all of these. So in 2023, the European Commission announced that it would propose to harmonize national procedural aspects to improve the cooperation between national data protection authorities in enforcing the GDPR, as this has been a topic that came up quite a lot in the discussions. The current proposal that we have is the result of this priority, which came in the form of the proposal for a regulation. So following the rules of the ordinary legislative procedure of the European institutions, the European Parliament adopted its position first in April 2024. Now, in this position, which contains proposed amendments to the Commission's proposal, the European Parliament insisted on strengthening the role of complainants and the role of the European Data Protection Board. As the other co-legislator of the EU level, the Council of the European Union also agreed on its general approach, but in June last year only. So what is happening right now? Well, the trialogues are taking place, which they started late last year in 2024, meaning that the Council and the Parliament representatives are negotiating the final text of the proposed regulation. So what we know so far is that these reforms are going to be focused on cross-border cases and are not addressing domestic data protection rules, harmonization. But some of the key provisions cover the amicable settlement or early resolution as a way to quickly resolve straightforward cases. There are also provisions concerning confidentiality, with the text including protections for trade secrets and other confidential information, as well as enforcement deadlines. Well, it is actually a bit too early to tell what the final text is going to look like, even though we do have a 4-column document published and available, which showcases the Commission proposal, the Council opinion, and the Parliament opinion. So we can already see how the conversation is going to be or which are the contentious points. We are going to have to wait for the political agreement between these two co-legislators, which is supposedly coming to be published quite soon in the first half of this year. And we will also have with the political agreement a final text of the proposed regulation. Well, as for the changes to the GDPR, well, this is an ongoing topic for discussion. Notably here, last year in July, the Commission published its second report on the review of the GDPR, assessing the progress of its impact and effectiveness of the application since the first report that was published in 2020. So this new report acknowledged a relative success of the GDPR in protecting individuals and supporting businesses, while highlighting areas for improvement. The report also noted, for example, that the interpretation of the GDPR by national data protection authorities remains fragmented as DPAs continue to adopt diverging interpretations, of key data protection concepts, creating thus a legal uncertainty to a certain degree. Well, after balancing the successes and the shortcomings of the GDPR, well, it is very worth noting that the Commission, in the end, did not call for the reopening and updating this regulation. So we are still going to hear about this topic, but for now, the case is kind of going towards, we have the GDPR, and this is also a priority of the new Commission to be enforced fully.